Howdy folks, it's Alternative here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yes, a Flight Simulator video. I kind of thought I was done making these videos a couple weeks ago per my channel update, but we're making one today. I just feel like it, and my kids have friends over and I don't want to interrupt them with piano, of course, because it's loud, and I just don't feel like playing harpsichord this afternoon. So here it is. Oh, my wife's with her friend, so Flight Sim video it is. So thank my family for doing their own thing and leaving me behind for a video for you all. And I just feel like it. So there we go. So what are we doing today? Well, we have a purpose today. We're going to fly over the Great KAROO Desert in South Africa, starting in Victoria West. And what's the theme? Well, Alone Season 12 has been out for a few weeks now. Oh my gosh, hang on a second. Look at that windsock. Whoa, wrong button. Come on, let's go back to my drone. Thank you. Look at this windsock. Oh dear, you might have to turn off live weather to fly, but that might be unflyable in the Cub. Anyway, Alone Season 12 has been out for a few weeks now. We watch it on Amazon Prime. We don't watch it on History Channel. And every season I've done a flight sim video of where they are filming, or where they filmed, obviously. And it's fun. I enjoy it. Season 12, instead of going somewhere very, very cold, they decided to go somewhere very, very arid. And that is the Great KAROO Desert. And I really wish I could talk about the show a little bit, because there's some very interesting things happening in just a few episodes, but I don't want to give anything away, which is a bummer, because there's a few very interesting things that I do want to talk about, but I can't. So we're just going to fly the area. Normally, when I do an alone VFR video of the show, I actually fly over the spots, well, the spots where the cutscenes show that they are. Are they really in those spots? I kind of think sometimes, because it does match their video with the B-roll, but not always. I do try to find those spots and I'll show you. In this case, I have no idea where they are. I think they were 3-hour drive on dirt roads from the closest airports, so that could put them anywhere. And I was trying to look for some like water formations and things like that, but I mean, every part of year is different where the water is type thing, because it's a desert. So if I find an unusually shaped lake or river shore bank or whatever, river bank in the show, and it probably doesn't look like that right now. So because this is also based on the satellite imagery of when this was taken, so I don't know exactly where they are, but most of them are on water of some type, and I can't even talk about the water without giving away spoilers. So anyway, we're just going to fly VFR just a little bit. There are no other airports around here, so we'll either end the video in the air or fly back to this airport, just depending on how much time I want to spend doing this. But the main thing I wanted to check out was how the topography is in the sim compared to the show, because there's a lot of like plateaus and mountainous things, as you can kind of tell by looking here. As far as the quality goes, I don't or didn't expect the quality of scenery down here to be very good, because I don't think there's been South Africa in the sim update, at least not of the KAROO area. I'll look it up, and if I'm wrong, I'll put at the bottom of the screen that I was wrong and there has been an update, but I don't think so. So I'm not expecting very good quality. However, it looks really good like this, and I just picked a random airport in the desert, and it looks really good actually. So I'm quite pleased already. We haven't even taken off. I am going to make another video when I have time doing an IFR flight in a jet over the area, so we can look at the desert from altitude, but we always start with VFR. So there's your introduction about how and why we're doing the video. And there you go. If you've seen my other VFR flights on this Alone TV series or whatever, check those out. We have some pretty cool flights. So there you go. Alrighty, we're gonna get in the air and then we'll yip yap a little bit more, because that's why people come back to my channel, is for the yip yapping. And I will admit I'm slightly distracted because one of my cables under my desk just fell and is touching my foot on my rudders and is driving me nuts, but whatever. Alright, we haven't flown this thing for so long. We haven't flown it since the last time we flown it, and it's been a really long time. I'm just getting familiar with my presets here. Just to see what's going on. Okay, cool. All right, I actually have a checklist for this. I'm not sure why, but I do. So let's go through it. Parking brake set. Which button is parking brake? I don't see the brakes doing anything. We'll just assume it's set, I guess. Fuel and passengers, don't really need to worry about that. There's only 2 of us. Choke on. Black pullout. Is that this then? Is that the choke? Ignition key. Whoops, let's do that. How can there... What? Do I need to like turn fuel on and stuff? How can I just need that and that's all that takes to start? Something's not right. My checklist can't be right. It says, okay, hang on. Ignition key on. Okay, there's more to my checklist. Ignition switches, both reds. It didn't say ignition key start. It says ignition key on. I can't even read my own very simple checklist. That's the longest been since I've flown a plane. I feel like I've never done flight sim before right now. Strobe on. Now turn key to start. It says keep choke on though. Now let's try it. There we go. But are the parking brakes set? It is because they're not moving. Good. Parking brake is set. All right. Choke off. Avionics on. Under tail plate. Tail plate. Right here. Avionics. Transponder on. Like it's already on, isn't it? I can't. Yeah, it's already on. That's not the transponder. This is the transponder. There you go. Weather. Yeah, let's see. Is there weather here? Do we have an ATIS? I don't think so. We can do this though, and check for weather. Oh, yeah, our flight plan is going to fly out towards the west because we're kind of on the eastern edge of the desert right now. We're going to fly west and then either stay in the sky, land. Actually, no. Wait, I take that back. The reason why I chose this plane is we can land in the desert. I remember now. And my airplane's in the way. I can't click on the dang airport. There we go. Weather is not listed. So another option to get weather. Either go weather, click my METAR, and then you can choose all the different things. And see if it says anything. And this is getting pretty far away. And no weather. So no idea what the wind is. Which means I should have looked at the weather before I hit fly, because you can get the weather in the sim. In fact, I did a whole video years ago on how you can do everything in the sim. You do not need any outside anything to fly in the sim, unlike some other simulators where you need a bunch of resources. You can get the weather in the sim from the flight planning screen before you hit fly, and I forgot to do that. So what I could do right now is go out to Sky Vector and get the weather, but I'm not going to. We're just going to wing it and see what happens. We'll probably have to turn weather off looking at that windsock. Alrighty, so there's the weather. Hit B for barometer, and then change it all. Okay. What's next? Taxi. Flaps down 1 to taxi. Is my thing working? Is my thing working? Yes, it is. My Logitech multi-panel on my desk with flaps and autopilot. Alrighty, let's see. Landing lights on at the end of the runway. Okay, so let's do it on the runway. Let's do our favorite taxi view. Actually, first let's look over here. Which way is that windsock going? To the left, right? So you want to go down there and hope we can take off in this weather. Favorite taxi view, parking brake off. Here we go. Are we going to go? There we go. Alright, so anyway, what else was I saying about the plan is yes. Oh, look, we have a... Oh, we should probably tune in the radio and tell them we're taxiing to whatever runway that's going to be.
Foxtrot Alpha Victor Whiskey Traffic Turtle Soup Tango 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 41 is taxiing to runway tree 2.
So we're taxiing to 32. See, that's what you can do is just announce your taxi. And the runway, it says automatically, is the runway you should use. That's how you know. The 32 should be down here, which means 32 should be at the bottom of a compass or opposite or compass. Yep, because that's like 714. So there you go. Okay. What else can I say? Oh yeah, we're just gonna fly. We're gonna land somewhere. That's why I don't have a destination, and that's why I chose this airplane. Let's look at this land anywhere we want. Do some Trent Palmer stuff today. How about that? In South Africa. Looking for fauna. Before I started the flight, I did look for fauna because we haven't checked off fauna in the flight sim in a few years. The closest fauna I could find were rhinoceros, but that's quite a ways east of here, outside of the desert area, so we won't see any fauna unless I missed some when I was doing my search. So I was hoping to see fauna, but I don't think so, because in real life there's everything here. Be nice if it were like that in the sim. Maybe Flight Sim 2024, who knows. But anyway, let's turn our landing lights on now that we're actually on the runway itself, even though we're not taking off from destruction. So I think that's it, right? We got the intro, what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, where we're going, all that stuff. I told you why I was able to record a video this afternoon. In fact, it's July 1st, holiday week. Worked a little bit today. Work is slow because the holiday week, but anyway, then my kids' friends came over because they're on summer break, so it's Saturday every day to them. What else? We started the plane a little rough, even though simple, because it's been a while. Man, that crosswind is going to be ridiculous. You can hear the wind, probably not with my editing, but it is loud wind in my ears. Anyway, we're going to take off, enjoy. We'll talk about the show a little bit without giving away spoilers, and then I'll talk about my amusement with reality TV. Actually, you know what? We should have taken off from that grass runway over there, shouldn't we? That would have been a way better choice. This might not actually be 32, now that I think about it. But, I don't know. We're going to take off from here anyway, because we're already here, and it's a simulator, and I like to see how dramatic things can get. That wind is so loud. I don't know if you can hear that, but it is so loud. We'll see how this goes. It is 32. See, I know what I'm doing. Because the compass, 180 would equal 32. It's so windy, the plane's going to tip over. You see this? Oh boy. To you, it looks like I'm just slowly turning my plane around, but I'm fighting the wind. Come on. Come on, don't tip over. Very slowly. Oh. Look, it's blowing us backwards. Did you see that? It's so windy. It was blowing us backwards. Look at this airspeed. It's already 80 knots. What's ground speed? 5? The ground speed is literally like 10 miles an hour, and our airspeed is 120. Are you seeing this? Oh man, note to self. Look up the real-world weather and put the wind at the bottom of the screen in 3, 2, 1. There's our wind. Look at this. What is this? 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour ground speed maybe? And our airspeed is 160? Wow, I never even announced our departure. I was so excited. Oops. Well, we want to go west, right? And now they're going to see which way are we facing right now. Let's face more west. There we go. Holy moly, there's our town of Victoria West. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can fly this. Look at, I'm firewalled. And as I get over, I can't even go. Look at this. What is this, 40 miles an hour ground speed now? I just can't get over that. Did you see how we were rolling backwards even with the throttle engaged? That was insane. We'll try it. We'll try it here. We'll see if we can get anywhere. We might not get anywhere, though. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Anywho. So I want to get up to those hills and stuff. Plateaus over there. Actually, I actually wanted to go that way, but I want to check out this town quickly. If we can. Flaps have been up for a while, by the way. Yeah, I don't even need my checklist for the rest of this, so go away checklist. Just clog it up my screen. Let's see. What can I do here? Can I take some neat little screenshots or something of the KAROO desert? I'm letting the airplane fly itself, of course, because you have no control when you're in drone mode. There we go. Let's get back in the airplane. Alright, so recording, did I hit the wrong button? I had to remember my recording buttons, by the way. I have a bunch of hotkeys. I think we're good. I think we're recording. Yep. Okay, cool. Alrighty, are we heading west-ish? Yeah, we're heading west-ish. A little south of west. Oof, look at this. So anyway, the KAROO desert is all this whole area up and over here. We're just gonna fly around for a while. So the show, I like this show. My wife actually discovered it back with season 3, I think. She went back and watched them all, and I've been flying all the locations ever since, just because it's fun to check out the world. And like I said, I did not expect this to be attractive whatsoever, but it's actually very, very beautiful looking. I mean, you can tell this is a simulator. You know, sometimes you can't tell. Like, I could post a picture on Facebook and say, look, I flew today, and people would believe me. But this, you can tell it's a simulator, but that's okay. But that's also why we're going to fly over this IFR soon in altitude in a jet. It'll look much better. But anyway, let's see, what do I know about this place from the show? Very dry, only like 120 millimeters of rain a year. Hot during the day, very, very cold at night, including frost, because that's just how deserts work, right? Even deserts here in Minnesota, in the United States. People freak out in Vegas because it's 110 during the day and like 50 at night sometimes, 60 at night sometimes, freezes at night sometimes. People are like, what? And they get caught off guard. That's also why Death Valley is so dangerous, because you swelter during the day and you freeze at night, and people are not prepared. Same thing here. So, although I want to tell you about the show, I want to tell you what's happening. We're 6 or 7 episodes in already, and it's the most different season because of stuff going on than any other season. But you'll just have to watch it and find out, I guess. Contestants, I have my favorite. Won't tell you who they are. Nope. Can't say anything. What I can say is how people think the show is fake. And I'm always amused by how people just assume reality TV is all fake all the time, no matter what. But depends on the show. There are shows that are completely manufactured, of course, 100% manufactured. And then there are shows that are 100% real, other than required and necessary TV production things. So for Alone, right? 100% real. But people will say things like, oh, how do they have enough battery to run the cameras that they have to drag around? Or how do they have enough memory cards? Well, they do health checks like every week or twice a week or something, and they also replace all their batteries and memory cards, right? They'll be like, oh, they talked about this bear, and all of a sudden they have a beautiful drone shot of the bear. How did they know if they're not following them around? It's like, well, that's just B-roll footage. And you know, there's actually an episode this season where they literally just talk about their B-roll footage and how they'll have drones flying around all the time, and they'll be like, hey, we've got this animal over here. Then they'll take drone video. The people on the ground will like take ground video of it. Had nowhere near the contestants, nothing to do with the contestants. They just have a catalog of B-roll, and if something happens during the show, or as you're editing the video from the contestants, they'll throw in the B-roll. I mean, that's just how TV is made, but people think it's fake and they're being followed, because how would they know when to put the video in of this bear? Well, do people not know how TV works? I guess not. I guess I have an advantage because I edit things for YouTube for myself or other people. I know how like music videos are made, for example, same type of thing. So people complain and say the show's not real, 100% real. I follow a lot of people on Instagram, and they get really frustrated with people thinking it's not real, but it's 100% real. Illnesses are not faked. Injuries are not faked. I'm trying to think of stuff that's not real. Things that surprise people is all the contestants hang out for 2 weeks at base camp before filming, so they all know each other. They're all best friends before they start. So I guess you could say that's not real. It's real. It's totally real. Another common complaint, which is hilarious, is people will be like, "Oh, I know where they are." Let's say in Canada, people will be like, "I know where they are. I've camped there. That's a campground where they're staying." Well, yeah, I mean, they can't film illegally on land. So they'll usually use like campgrounds run by native tribes or groups in the areas. That's how they find their locations. Someone one year said, I know that campsite, there's a road a mile away from there. Okay, so, I mean, there's, you know, state parks in Minnesota where you camp 2 miles to your campsite. It's the same thing. They just aren't having any help or anything, you know. No one else is around because they're very secluded. But yeah, they can't film like on random land. It has to all be legal and stuff. So that doesn't make it fake, but people like to think that's the big gotcha. For example, this season in the desert, they're filming with blessings of native troops and groups, you know, and it helps them because then all these people come in and, you know, pay for resources, and local people help set up the camps, and they scout out the sites and everything, and then the local communities get a ton of money, you know, for helping out and stuff, so it benefits them. I'm enjoying how there's like a tree line just shy of the top of this little mountain. That's so cool. Now, what's our altitude right now? 6,200 feet. However, that doesn't mean this is 6,000 feet because I don't know what ground level is, but it's a mountain for sure. Very crazy terrain around here. I love it. This wind is insane. 160, 170. What's your ground speed? 70 maybe? Wild. Anyway, we're just flying around a little more. I'm not going to make this video terribly long, but because the whole desert is like this. So you see this little area, the whole desert's like this. Where I don't think we're going to see any water on our little flight here. Because, I mean, there's no way. Look at that. We've only flown this far. This would be like 3-hour flight if we went up there. So we're not going to fly that far. But anyway, just looking around, right? So what are other, like gotcha comments about the show being fake? I think I said the main ones. Yeah, but yeah, it's real. It's probably the most real reality show. I mean, like I said, there's some TV production stuff, of course, like they do, you know, check in with them for med checks, so they do see people every once in a while. They replace their batteries for them and memory cards. They have like a 3-day training on how to use the cameras, and they have to demonstrate that they know how to use the cameras. That's why everybody's so good at it. They actually practice for a while. They go over, you know, hunting regulations, obviously, so they can't do whatever they want. They go over safety things. So even if you have a wilderness expert, they have local experts tell them what you can eat, what you can hunt, what you can't eat, stuff like that. Because even if you're a wilderness expert living off grid at home, you just know your area. You don't know the part of the world. So they get training. Like I said, they meet each other. They get food and hot showers and stuff before they go out. But that's just like waiting. That's just like base camp before they go out. So there's a whole episode on that too this season, by the way. So yeah, it's real. Probably the most realistic reality show there is, I guess. But yeah, there's, in fact, one season, 2 of the contestants became a couple. I don't know if they're still together, but they're very like-minded individuals. They were both nudists, so they basically were naked the whole time during the show. A lot of editing. A lot of editing for that. But then they were friends because they met before the show started, and they hung out after, and they became a couple. I was following them on Instagram for a while. I haven't seen them for a long time, but I mean, so of course they're going to know each other, right? Because they spent time together before and after the filming. Otherwise, what else? Let's see. I don't know, I'm just enjoying the shots here. Let's use this view. Well, that's a great view. There's some thumbnail potential. So yeah, so we're just flying around. This is what I do when the new season of Alone comes out. We check out the area, we talk about the show, we blib-blab, yap away. Like I said, people come back to my channel to hear me yap, so I do not apologize for it. And this is so beautiful. And like I said twice now, I expected this to be not good scenery at all. I thought this was going to be pretty icky scenery, but this is phenomenal scenery. So, yeah, this is absolutely phenomenal scenery. It'll be interesting now when we fly over it at altitude in a jet, in a video not yet made, and see if it's good from the air, from high up too. Because a lot of times stuff looks better the higher you are, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it looks better to be close to the ground like this. And look at that crosswind. Wowzers. How are we doing here with everything? Everything's fine. One of the easier planes to fly. Super simple. Let's see. Anything else to yip yap about while we approach this train up here? I don't think so. So even though I would have edited this in already, I just looked up if there has been a South Africa update, and no, there hasn't. I didn't think there was. Well, there's a river, so like, for example, people would be camping along the river and alone. Anyway, there's not been a South Africa update. I didn't think there was. But even still, the scenery is incredible. Because we have been in parts of South Africa that were horrible. Like that, wherever that famous place is where rich people go and hunt game. And then they come back to the U.S. and they're canceled. What is that famous safari park called? Can't remember. Anyway, we flew there. And it was horrendous scenery. And there's a very famous base camp there. That was in a different reality show. That's why we flew there. And it was nothing there in the sim at all. It was awful scenery. So I expected this to look like that, but it doesn't. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Which way are we facing? Kind of southish. Yeah, so I'm very pleased. So we'll check out this train for a little bit here. And then we'll find a place to land, which is funny because there are less opportunity or fewer opportunities to land. What's this down here? Fewer opportunities to land as you move on here, but that's okay. It still looks stellar. Alright, so we're getting closer. So let's see, there's a river going through there. Just a funny side note that has nothing to do with Flight Sim that you may find amusing. My name, which is not a secret because you go to my piano channel, which is my name is very, very similar to a quasi-famous rapper. And they use their personal email sometimes for business. And I get their email. I used to get a lot of their email. I don't know why my email isn't even really my name. It's just kind of my name. But I get this dude's email. And I used to get all of this like R&R, A&R stuff, and I would email people back, be like, it's not, no, you got the wrong thing, and then they would just keep sending me crap. And it stopped for a while, but it's been starting again for some reason. And I just got an email that they're trying to pay him a quite sizable sum of money to his PayPal, and it got flagged and rejected. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because it's not the right one. Anyway, I just thought that's funny. It's like, dude, it says LLC, so apparently this guy's LLC email is similar to mine, but the wrong domain, meaning like yahoo.com, outlook.com, that type of thing. So I don't know what's going on, but I stopped responding because it didn't do any good. They just ignored me. I'm like, fine, whatever. So that's kind of amusing. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this, but y'all like that kind of stuff because that's what I do here. The hills are getting higher, and what are we at now? 7,000 something? 8,000 already. And we're getting higher to get over them. And I wonder what the ground speed is. Like 2 miles an hour. Probably like 50 or 60. Anyway, I don't think we're going to fly over all of this because this video is already 10 minutes longer than I was anticipating. So let's just head over here to where it gets flat again. Oh dear, yep. We don't have the train turbulence. Actually, we can just land down here. We can land anywhere. I'll find a spot. I just want to show you what it looks like here because this is where the show's being filmed. But the whole desert's like this. It's not a flat desert. It's a crazy desert, which is why they're filming here. See if I can set up another possible thumbnail here. So there you go. Mission has been accomplished twice over of what the video is supposed to be. So let's go down here and land in this rugged terrain and go by this river kind of and see if we run into one of the participants. Actually, that's not a good idea, is it? Because that is not flat at all. It slopes way down. I wonder if we can land here on this plateau. Let's try to land on that plateau, just to see how dramatic life can be. And the wind will be coming from the left. So let's go over here, although it's not really going to matter. There's no way we're going to successfully land this thing, but we're going to try. What else can I say while we're making our way over there? Because that's quite a ways away. That's a good 10-minute flight away. Let's see. Other reality TV stuff. I guess I do talk about reality TV a lot, but we like the game show reality TV. Does that make sense? We're not into classic reality TV shows. Oh, there's an airport down here. So we land at the airport instead. Oh, but the plateau seems so much more exciting. I think we should land on the... Oh, that's not very flat. We're gonna land there. We're totally gonna land there. Yeah, the airport's right there. I don't want to land at the airport. I want to land on the plateau. Because it sounds better. It's cool, more exciting. So yeah, we watch like what I call kind of like modern game shows. Ooh, that's even a better place to land. But we're going over there. Like modern game shows, right? Not your classic game shows like The Price is Right, but modern game shows. So yeah, that's the type of stuff we watch. Alone fits in that. But I can't stand classic reality TV. Oh, we're going to be landing downhill. But, well, with the headwind, if it's still a headwind, we're going to land, like, at 1 speed, 1 mile per hour, 1 knot ground speed anyway. So it's not really going to matter. That is downhill. Other things we enjoy, we like America's Got Talent, which is another hilarious thing when you see people online are like, America's Got Talent is totally fake. No, it isn't. That's just how TV works. People will say like, but they asked people to come on the show. Of course they do. They scrounge social media and they get in touch with people and invite them to be on the show. Yes, they do, of course. Or people already have agents and they're already semi-professional and the agents book them on the show. It's just another gig. Of course, that's how TV works. Some things are set up for drama, like somebody will like play a bad song and Simon says, do you have another song? Of course that's set up, or else the show would be incredibly boring. It doesn't make it fake. They're still performing it. They still have multiple songs. That's just how it works. Yes, you will have professional bands that are not playing live. They're playing to a recording of their own stuff, because that's how TV works at that level. Most stuff you see on TV, that's how it's done. So it's just an extension of that. It's still their recording. It's still the studio recording. They're just playing, they're miming towards it. I mean, that's how pretty much every YouTube live video on YouTube works. They're miming to their own stuff. Of course, it's not live. It's just how TV works. Some people do show up, but you already have to get through the first round of auditions before you can get yourself on the show. That's just how TV works. You can't have 17 million acts trying to get on the show. So it's just really funny. I love when people on like YouTube comments complain about how fake America's Got Talent is. I'm like, no, that's just how TV works. That's how Star Search worked back in the 80s when I was a kid, or 70s. When was I a kid? Whatever it was. Star Search was like America's Got Talent. It was all agents booking their people on the show. That's just how it was. Like, these aren't random people walking down the street saying, I'm going to audition. I mean, no, that would be ridiculous. Can you imagine how awful that would be if just random people showed up for America's Got Talent? It'd be stupid. It'd be dumb. Like, for every amazing person, there's millions that are not. So, it's like, I don't know. So I find this stuff amusing. So people are like, that's fake. Haha, gotcha. I'm like, no, you just don't know how TV works. Like, you don't know how TV works. So anyway, same thing with The Voice. People are like, oh my gosh, that girl, she's famous on YouTube. Why is she on The Voice? I'm like, because she's invited, because she's famous on YouTube. Or like, she was on Britain's Got Talent, now she's on The Voice, that's not fair. I'm like, no, they all do all the shows. Like, people go on The Voice, America's Got Talent, British Got Talent, Norway Got Talent. The Norway Voice. There's people who have won like The Voice Australia who don't even get a chair turn in The Voice USA, for example. So they just go around and do the circuit. That's how TV works. So anyway, I just get amused by all that stuff since we're on the topic of reality TV. But I consider things like The Voice and America's Got Talent like reality game shows also, you know. Anyway, look at this. I'm firewalled and we've stopped moving again because this wind is so strong. So I told you, headwind, look at that, 180 headwind. And we're not even going anywhere. That's why I told you it would be fine to land here. So anyway, enough yibber yabber about reality TV and all that stuff and game shows and yeah. So here we are in the great KAROO desert of South Africa. Oh my gosh, we're getting pushed sideways. Okay, so we really need to compensate for this. Look at that crosswind. It's basically at least 45, oh my, 45 degrees or more. Okay, so we're firewalled and we're sinking. And trying to get over, but it's pushing us to the right so fast. Oh man, this is awesome. I love this so much. Oh, this is great. I was going to try to land on what looks like a little road or something where it's clear up here. But I don't know if I'm going to get there. Because look at, we're sinking. And I've got full throttle. Look at, we're going backwards. Look at, I didn't even have enough throttle. Oh, we're going backwards. Brakes. Come on, brakes. Where are you? Oh my gosh. Full throttle. And I was sinking. I couldn't even get airborne. Or I couldn't even climb with full throttle. Because the wind was so bad. Look at this. Oh. This is amazing. I'm still full throttle. And we're going to roll. Oh, this is great. Come on. I'm trying to turn around so we can take off. There we go. Now I can take off. Right? Oh, maybe not. There we go. Come on. Oh. Helicopter mode. Helicopter mode. This is fantastic fun. No. I just want to take off. Here, let's get some flaps out. Come on. Oh, get off the nose. That was hilarious. Yeah. Oh well, we didn't, even though I had full throttle, we didn't even have enough power to get through the wind to take off. Or land, I mean. We were going backwards with full throttle. That's fantastic. Well, let's shut this thing down and climb out here. And we'll call it a day. I think that's everything. Whatever. Let's climb out. And look at our little crash damage that we have here. There we go. We didn't even make it up the hill. The wind was so bad, we were going backwards with 180-degree headwind. I couldn't even get up there. That's crazy. Anywho, I think I've said enough. I'm glad you made it to the end of the video. I know the drone is crooked, whatever. It's a bug they never fixed. There you go. Much more impressive than I thought. I thought this was going to kind of be silly. But no, this was pretty impressive to look at. And the weather made it all the more exciting. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe. I'm not off YouTube, but I'm just not recording very often. But I'm still recording. So make sure you have the notifications turned on so you know when a video drops. And that's it for now. See you next time.